Alrighty, today is Tuesday, July the 11th of 2023. I'm standing in Evans City, Pennsylvania. This is near the cemetery where the opening scenes of Night of the Living Dead were filmed. In the movie, as they're talking about what's going on, Ben, one of the characters, talks to Barbara and says he was in a town near a diner when he was attacked by some of the living dead. So I'm assuming that this town right here could possibly be that town. They never do mention where it is for sure. Alright, along here would be the roadway up to the cemetery where Barbara and her brother Johnny were driving. And then as you can see, it goes right into the cemetery up there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. Alright, we drove up the road to Evans City Cemetery. Our car is parked just about where Barbara and Johnny's car would have been. And they get out of the car right there and they're talking, they're going over to their father's grave that they don't really know that well. And as they're walking and going through this area, Johnny and Barbara are talking a little bit, and he talks about how they're coming to get you and how she's kind of always been freaked out by cemeteries. And at this spot right here with this gentleman or person's gravestone, again, I'm trying to be respectful, but at that gravestone right there, Johnny holds on to it and he looks over in the distance right into that area right there. And after he says they're coming to get you, Barbara, you can see one of the ghouls, as they're called in the film. They're not called zombies, they're called ghouls. You see one slowly shuffling towards them right through here. And it kind of upsets Barbara a little bit. She doesn't like it. And she decides she's just going to keep on walking a little bit. And then, as they get closer, the ghoul has come down, and Barbara and the ghoul meet up right about in this area right here. And it comes after her, it starts to grab her, and Johnny tries to help his sister out. He tangles with the ghoul, and as they're fighting, Barbara comes right over here to this gravestone right here. It says Nicholas Kramer, and she's holding on to the gravestone right in this spot here. She's just holding on to it. She looks over and she sees the zombie and her brother fighting, and as they're fighting and getting into it, the zombie, or the ghoul I should say, throws Johnny down, and he hits his head on this gravestone right here. It says Clyde Lewis Myers. This film was made in 1968, so that headstone for Mr. Myers would not have been there very long. After Johnny's either knocked out or killed, I'm not sure which one it is, that's when Barbara starts to take off, and she starts running. She falls down, slips off her shoes, and she starts running back to the car. I'll pause for just a moment right here. Alright, where Johnny is attacked and Barbara are attacked is right up there. Johnny's down. Barbara takes off, loses her shoes, keeps on running. The ghoul starts to chase her. She comes down this way, and she would have gotten into her car right here, but right about where we're parked, right there. She gets in and rolls up, make sure the windows are rolled up. She locks the door. She realizes she doesn't have the key, and that's when the ghoul comes up and starts knocking on her window, trying to open the door. She's freaking out. The ghoul runs around to this side, is also trying to get in on their car on this side. Can't get in. Then it's smart enough to realize it can try to pick up something and use as a thing to break in. He picks up, I believe it was either a big rock or a big log or something, picks it up right there, comes over to the car, bashes in the window, tries to grab at Barbara right there. She reaches over after she knows she doesn't have the keys, and she pulls the brake release, and then the car starts to roll forward, and the ghoul is holding on, trying to get at her still. She's able to come down the hill a little bit right here, right past the chapel. She just turns right around to the right and continues on down the hill. And a little bit later on down the hill, she does hit the side of a tree, I believe, and she can't get her door open, but she climbs out, and that's when she takes off and runs to try to find the farmhouse. Now, I did look up about the farmhouse. The farmhouse was actually torn down shortly after the movie was filmed, and now it's private property. I don't think there's really anything there from the original film. This chapel was rebuilt a few years ago. Fans of the movie, some of the actors who were in the film, they wanted to make sure that the original, or the chapel that was here, was updated and taken care of, and that's what they've done. So it is a nice, it's a nice spot. This cemetery is actually quite peaceful, quite beautiful, and there's a nice feeling of calm here. Again, I was trying to film and be respectful because it is a cemetery. But those are some of where the scenes of the opening, or excuse me, the Night of the Living Dead opening scenes were filmed.